All right, welcome everyone to this to the tournament stream for Battlecode 2022. Tonight we'll be streaming the tournament for Sprint 1. We're really excited that we're already over 1 week into the competition. And so tonight we'll be able to take a look at the amazing bots that everyone's been able to develop in the short time we've had up to now, get a sense of what the game meta is like, and also give away some prize money for the first place team in the Sprint 1 tournament. So Sprint 1 is run as a single elimination tournament. The bracket for the tournament has already been posted on Discord. So if you go to the announcements channel, you will see the bracket has been posted over there. You can go in there, take a look at where your team is and who you'll be up against. So we've already run the first 4 rounds of the tournament. And so today we'll be starting streaming from round 5 of the tournament. So without further ado, let's get started with round 5 of the single elimination tournament that is Sprint 1 for Battlecode 2022. So round 5 should be, I believe that is our round of 16. So we'll be having our top 16 teams will be starting on the stream. All right, so let's get started. So we'll be starting in round 5. First match in round 5 is Watch Centaur World versus Large L League. So with me together, we also streaming with me today. Right now, it's me, I'm Jerry, and we'll also have Gaurav as well. So everyone say hi to Gaurav. Hello. All right, well, let's get started. So this is the first map, the first match of round 5. We are on a map called Rivers. So we got some interesting rivers flowing through the map. And let's get started. All right, so both teams pumping out some miners to collect some of the lead around them. I think that both teams have found the lead deposits nearer to the center of the map. Looks like Watch Centaur World has started with creating some more soldiers as well to try to get on the offense, pushing towards the right into Large L League's territory. They've found the top Archon in the top right corner, probably eating that one away. And it's gone. So it's now 2-1 Archons. Sort of pushing all the way to the bottom right now. Looks like Watch Centaur World might have this one. Right, sort of taking the last Archon, and that's the first match, the first game of the best of 5. So I forgot to mention that the Sprint tournament and all of our future tournaments will be best of 5. So that's the first team to 3 games out of 5 will win the match. All right, so that's the first game out of the best of 5 match. So moving on to the second one, so it's 1-0 to Watch Centaur World right now. So I think if we go on here. Let's take a look now at our second map. So Sandwich. On this Sandwich map, we have the 2 Archon. The teams of the Archons are sandwiched between the others. So it's a bit more of a map where your Archons can't collaborate with each other too easily because they have to go through enemy territory to actually reach each other. So it's a bit of a sandwich. It would be interesting to see what the teams make of this. All right, so I had a bit of an anomaly happen there. Oh, another anomaly sort of flipped back quite quickly. But it looks like Watch Centaur World has sort of taken out one Archon already, sort of taking over a lot of the map, coming down towards the second one. And here comes the soldiers surrounding that second Archon. Looks like there might not be much room for escape now. But it's now 2-0 to Watch Centaur World. We're moving on to our third map now. Our third game in the best of 5. So if Watch Centaur World wins this, they'll be moving on to round 6, the next round of the tournament. But this next map is called Progress. It's an interesting map. It's a bit of a smaller one, a bit sparser. Let's see what happens on this one. Well, the initial units in this one are clustered to the right. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly they explore to the left and find all the resources that are over there. Both teams get there pretty quickly. Watch Center World seems to be sending out a single soldier at the start to sort of harass their enemy miners. That soldier down the bottom right, bottom left there is going around and taking out all of large L League's miners. Seems to be causing quite a bit of damage. It sort of ate up all of their initial mining flock. And that's Watch Center World with a 3-0 win over large L League. So the final result of that over all 5 games was 5-0. So congratulations to Watch Center World for going ahead to round 6. And also congratulations to large L League for making it through to the 5th round of the sprint tournament. All right, so we'll be going on now to the next match in round 5. So we have Camel Case, which is quite interestingly not written in Camel Case, against the 5 Musketeers. All right, so back on Rivers again, Camel Case against the 5 Musketeers. Whoops. Camel Case on the 5 Musketeers. All right, let's see what happens here. So 5 Musketeers starting out with some farming on the top right. Camel Case also has some soldiers going around. Looks fairly evenly matched so far. 5 Musketeers with a couple more miners. But it does look like 5 Musketeers looks like they're increasing their lead in terms of their robot counts. So it'd be interesting to see if they can sort of push that ahead into a much larger advantage. They do have a slight material lead at the moment. Not much, but just a little bit. See 2 clusters of blue robots coming down. So there's like the cluster in the top there and a cluster in the bottom, sort of making some attacking forces. Clusters coming through, sort of gradually taking up more territory. It looks like 5 Musketeers now has a commanding lead in terms of the number of soldiers now. Gradually pushing in towards the Archons. Might be hard to escape now. Sort of starting to take the Archon in the bottom there. And then moving straight up to the Archon on the left. So congratulations to 5 Musketeers for winning the first game in this set of 5. So move on to the second game now. Time to take a look at the sandwich map again. Let's see how they go on the sandwich.
So we keep the setup map the same for all round 5 matches. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So for all round 5 matches will be played on the same set of maps, and so we'll have some fresh maps coming in round 6, 7, and 8. But definitely, so to keep things going fair, every round, every round, everyone will be playing on the same set of maps. But that being said, we haven't actually seen the maps that we play on game 4 and 5 yet. That's something we'll find out soon. It looks like 5 Musketeers has already taken out one of the Archons. We'll see what happens on the other one. Looks a bit hard to escape now. And they've surrounded the blue Archon there. 5 Musketeers takes out the second one in this set as well. So we're now on to the third one. So if 5 Musketeers wins this, they will have moved on to the 6th round. So let's get this one started. So it looks all right. So it looks like Camel Case has got the harassing soldiers tactic as well. But 5 Musketeers has also brought out their own set of soldiers. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. Looks like 5 Musketeers now does have the advantage. And they go up and they do start surrounding Camel Case's Archons. And so congratulations to 5 Musketeers for moving ahead to round 6. And also congratulations to Camel Case for making it so far into round 5 of the sprint tournament. And so the full results are there. So if 5 Musketeers wins 3-0. Next map, the next match we have is Kryptonite versus Meteor. So Kryptonite versus Meteor, back on rivers again.
Kryptonite seems to be taking the lead in that income. Seems to have a lot more of the map control now. But Meteor is still holding on to one of its Archons. Top right, that Archon's not doing so well. And looks like Kryptonite has control of this match. Right, so Kryptonite takes that match. Okay. Now we're on to match 2 on Sandwich. Okay. Both teams to have fairly similar net income. In the matches we've seen so far, neither team seems to make much use of gold and the resources that come with that, which is interesting meta. Looks like Meteor's Centaur Archon is under threat. Anomaly. Right, so Kryptonite's eating up the gold it gets from the Archon, but it doesn't even seem to bother to use it. It's just sitting on 50 gold. And now Meteor's other Archon is under threat. Right, and Kryptonite takes that match. Now we're on to progress. Okay. Both teams sending out flocks of miners. Some combat happening in the center. Seems like Kryptonite soldiers are sort of weakening Meteor's miners. And looks like Kryptonite has a much higher lead income now, perhaps thanks to its soldier strategy. And again is now advancing to Meteor's Archons. So Kryptonite takes this tie 3-0. So far we've seen 3 5-0 sweeps, which is interesting. Wonder if we'll see the 4th and 5th maps in round 5 at all. So now we have forcefully boosted kids versus printf. Both teams seem to have very similar lead incomes. And yeah, we're seeing a very similar meta so far in that bots seem to rely primarily on their soldiers and miners, send out a lot of miners at first. So it seems to be a fairly strong meta from what we've seen so far. And this match looks very evenly poised at the moment. But Archons seem to be doing fairly well. They're not under any threat. Looks like there are a few builders running around. No longer. Sorry, a few, builders. Okay, Printf's Archon is under threat at the top. Red team doesn't even bother to collect that gold and moves on to destroy Printf's remaining Archon. Okay, now we're on the sandwich.
Interesting how we're yet to see some significant use of buildings. It seems that most teams have kept their archons in place and never really turned them into portables, and we haven't really seen watchtowers and labs appear yet, or sages for that matter. So it'd be interesting to see if these do appear later in some of the other matches. Sandwich does seem to be one of those obnoxious maps which throws in a lot of vortexes or vortices. Seems to flip the map around a lot. Forcefully boosted kids takes out the second game in this set of 5. So on to progress and see if Printf can claw their way back from here. Both teams starting out with lots of miners. Soldiers coming out from forcefully boosted kids, starting to take out some of those miners. Those miners in a bit of distress there. But Printf does respond with their own soldiers as well. So we'll see if they can even it back out. Looks like a bit of trouble though. Soldiers are pushing all the way down. Oh, no, they managed to fend it off. Coming all the way back out, up against those soldiers. Did fend that off quite well. Let's see if they can hold that defense. And is that a builder I see? That is a builder I see. Oh, it did not survive. But it does look like Printf is fending off that red attack quite well. And there's also a lot of lead appearing there. I hope they are collecting it. It looks like they're pushing all the way up. Looks like that lead is coming to Printf's advantage, and they might be able to take this game.
And we see a watchtower.
It is a watchtower, and it's in portable mode, and it's moving. It's a moving watchtower. And congratulations to Printf for taking the 3rd game in the set of 5. So I guess what this means is that we'll now get to see the 4th map and discover what this map looks like. So it's currently 2-1 to forcefully boosted kids. And so it's 1 more game for forcefully boosted kids to take this match, and it's 2 more for Printf. We'll see what happens here. So on to map 4, which is not test small. So I guess this map is a bit less obnoxious than map test small. I guess it's not a test after all. So both teams starting quick with their farming. Printf coming out with their soldiers, quickly taking out some of the blue team's miners. We'll see if they can keep up this advantage. It does look like Printf has found most of the lead deposits on this map. They've also come out with a couple of builders, so it'll be interesting to see if we can see some watchtowers spawn here as well. It does look like quite an advantage to Team Printf, so we may be looking at going into a 5th and deciding match in this set of 5. It's pretty hard for the blue team to bring this one back. And so it's 2-2, and we will be going into the 5th and deciding match. So whoever wins the next one will be advancing to round 6. This is going to be a very tight set of 5. So we're on map Jellyfish. I guess we can see a floating jellyfish in this map. And let's see how our teams go on the jellyfish. This is going to be our 5th and deciding match. So it looks like forcefully boosted kids coming out early with the soldiers. Printf responding with the soldiers as well. It's quite evenly matched so far. A couple more soldiers from Team Red. It looks like those soldiers are pushing their way down on the offense. And they've found the Archons on both sides. bit more defense on the right. The left one's down already. That attacking squad is coming all the way down, and they've surrounded that Archon. So it looks like this match is going to forcefully boosted kids. So congratulations on advancing to round 6 in this very tight match. And congratulations to Team Printer for putting up a very valiant defense. Our next match in this set is Rolo against Team Double J. I think both teams are some seasoned Battlecode veterans as well. We've definitely seen Team Rolo for quite a while, and we've also seen. I definitely remember seeing Triple J in the past. So I guess we do have Double J this year. Rolo definitely coming out early with a large collection of red units. But Double J does have some watchtowers to defend. So let's see if they can use their watchtowers to form a stronghold, form a fortress. It does look like Rolo has quite a bit of a material advantage though, so it may be a difficult defense for Double J. Let's see what they're able to do. That's the top Archon is down. Looks like the second one is a bit hard to defend as well. So Rolo takes out game 1 on Rivers. We'll be moving on to game 2 now, back to Sandwich. An Archon Sandwich. I wonder what an Archon Sandwich would taste like. Be interesting to give that a try. It looks like Rolo has found the Archons on both sides. And that's the that's the second game in this set of 5. So we're on to our third one now. On our third one, back on progress. So here we go. Third game in this set of 5.
Like all of those miners were left faster out of at the beginning.
Hello.
Oh, it's Nicole. Hello. Nicole is also one of our devs. And Rolo does take out the third game in this set of 5. So congratulations to Rolo for progressing to round 6. And congratulations to Double J for a great defense in round 5. So congratulations to Rolo again. Our next match is that Yoho? Is that Yoho? I think that's Yoho. Somebody should let us know if we're saying this wrong, but I think this is Yoho versus Hard Coders. So let's see how Yoho does against Hard Coders. All right. So we're on the rivers. Let's see how they do on the rivers. Yoho has got some soldiers trying to traverse through the high rubble there. I guess we've got some of that happening here from hard coders as well, but I guess you got to do what you got to do. But Yoho definitely getting their army all the way to the northeast there, pushing in towards hard coders territory. Seems like quite a bit of a material advantage now. Maybe a bit hard to escape from this, but we'll see what sort of a defense we'll see from hard coders. Yoho has found the Archon on the right there, so that Archon is in a bit of trouble. We'll see what we can do there. Lots of soldiers appearing there. It's a very good defense. But still, that Archon has now turned into gold. And the attacking flock moves up to the north, finds that other Archon, and it does look a bit hard from here. So congratulations to Yoho for taking out the first game in the set of 5. All right, on to the second one. This is Sandwich. Let's see what happens on the Sandwich. So starting quickly with some soldiers moving around there. We're gradually draining that Archon in the middle there.
Hardcoder seems to have latched on to the top right Archon.
Interesting. It does appear that both teams are doing their own set of offense. It'll be a matter of who gets there first. Looks like Hardcoders might be getting it, and it does look like Hardcoders takes this second game. So we're now 1 game apiece. And so we'll be moving on to the third one. And definitely at least the 4th game in this set. So we'll see how we go on progress. Let's see if progress will be made. Yoho also having the early soldier strategy. Coming all the way down, up on the Archons down the bottom there. That's 1 Archon down, and they're quickly latching onto the second one there. It looks like this game may be going to Yoho. And it does. So congratulations to Yoho for taking out the 3rd game in the set of 5. So they're now up 2-1. So Yoho needs 1 more game to win the set, and Hardcoders needs the remaining 2 to move on to round 6. So let's see how we go on Not Test Small. This map is certainly not a test, as the name asserts. It's a very small map, so it doesn't give you a lot of time to get ready. I think rush bots may have a lot more success on these smaller maps, where they're able to reach their opponent very quickly before they're able to set up a good economy. But it looks like Yoho is moving down quite quickly, latching onto that Archon. So it looks like it may be a bit hard for Hardcoders here. It looks like this match may be going to Yoho. So congratulations to Yoho for advancing to round 6 of the sprint tournament. And congratulations to Hardcoders for making it through to the 5th round of the sprint tournament tonight. All right, our next match is Producing Perfection versus C Sharper. C Sharper. All right, so Producing Perfection versus C Sharper. Let's see how we go here. Both teams quickly finding the lead deposits near the center of the map. They're moving quite quickly. C Sharper with several more miners, but a lot fewer soldiers. So very different strategies here. We'll see how this balances out. I think Producing Perfection gradually increasing their material advantage. They do control the center of the map, which, if this is anything like chess, is probably a good sign. And they do take out that Archon on the right there. So they're probably going to be starting to move upwards to the top there. It looks like they have latched onto that Archon. And so Producing Perfection does take out the first game in this set of 5. On to the Sandwich. So we have the miners a lot of blue miners sort of floating around trying to find the lead deposits. They're sort of hidden all the way behind in the rubble regions. There's a lot of resource hidden up in the corners where there's a lot of rubble. But it looks like Producing Perfection does find them there. So Team Blue is down 1 Archon, but they do seem to have they seem to be looking like they may be down their second soon. Maybe a bit hard from here. So it's now 1 game apiece, 1 each to C Sharper and Producing Perfection. There is 1 sage as well. I wonder where that sage is. Oh, there is 1 big sage here. It's quite fascinating. We're seeing a sage. And I suppose without the laboratory, that sage probably came from the reclaim that they got from that taking out that first Archon there. I think you can trade that Archon for 1 sage. I think you just get the exact, I think it costs the exact right amount. All right, on to this third game on progress. The soldiers coming from both teams. Looks like Producing Perfection has outlived the skirmish and is moving down towards the blue Archons. They take out the first and the second one as well. So it's now 2-1 to Producing Perfection. And on to the 4th map, which we know is Not Test Small. So let's see how we go on Not Test Small. Looks like Producing Perfection has a very slight material advantage. Just a couple of miners. Actually, they've got more miners, but fewer soldiers. And C Sharper is pushing back up towards the top right of the map. And looks like they may be increasing their lead here. Let's see if there's any escape for Producing Perfection. Looks possibly a bit difficult here. It looks like C Sharper may be the one who takes out this match in this game in this set of 5. So we are moving on to the 5th game. So we're on to the deciding one. On to the deciding game of this match between Producing Perfection and C Sharper. So this is the decider. So whoever takes out this 5th game will be advancing to round 6 of the sprint tournament. So let's see how we go there.
Looks like Producing Perfection has a substantial lead in income. And is now advancing. Oh no, Producing Perfection's Archon is under threat. Top right. But seems to be surviving, at least for now. C Sharper didn't bring enough firepower. All right, now it looks like Producing Perfection's Archon is gone. And C Sharper seems to have most of the map control now. And Looks like C Sharper will win this round. Deciding match.
So congratulations to C Sharper for winning this deciding game in this match. The C Sharper will be advancing to round 6. And congratulations to Producing Profession for putting up a very exciting defense. Next map. Yep.
Now we have Blue Dragon versus Battlecruiser. On Rivers again. The teams, as is the norm, starts out with a bunch of minors. That income seems fairly even at the moment. Neither team interacting yet on this large map. It looks like Blue Dragon has explored a lot more of the map. Let's see if that translates into anything. And Blue Dragon has a lot more soldiers in the map as well. So looks like they may have an advantage in firepower as they now advance to Battlecruiser's 2 Archons. Battlecruiser's Archon on the right is falling. And looks like Blue Dragon has a strong advantage now. Take Battlecruiser's 2nd Archon and win the first match in this tie. Great. Now on to Sandwich. So neither team opting for the early soldier strategy. Lots of miners roaming around. Great. Looks like Battlecruiser is now sending out a few more soldiers, just like last match. They seem to do so a bit more, send soldiers out a bit more early and in greater number. But it looks like Blue Dragon is now gaining an advantage. It's taking Battlecruiser's right Archon and its bottom left Archon. That was a pretty dramatic change. And Blue Dragon evens it up, I think. No, Blue Dragon won the first match. Sorry. It's now 2-0 to Blue Dragon. No, I don't know what happened.
It is 2-0.
It is 2-0. Okay. Right, now on to progress. And both teams doing quite a good job of eating up lead, but Blue Dragon, again, exploring a lot more aggressively. Battlecruiser seems kind of confined to that corner and is now under the threat of Blue Dragon soldiers. And very quickly, Battlecruiser's Archons are under threat. And Blue Dragon will take this tie, 3-0. So congratulations to Battlecruiser for making it to round 5, and congratulations to Blue Dragon for moving on to round 6. Now we have, oh, is this a round 6 match, Jerry?
It does look like we are now back on round 6. So we've just finished our round 5 matches. So we're now on to round 6 with our top 8 teams. So we'll be streaming the round 6, which is a round of 8. So these are all the teams who won in the previous round. First up, we have Watch Centaur World versus the 5 Musketeers.
Hey, we have a repeated map, but in a different order now. So we're starting with not as small. Again, we should pay attention to whether either team uses a rush strategy and whether that benefits them on this small map. Looks like both teams have some soldiers roaming around. 5 Musketeers has quite a few more, and they're already advancing to Watch Centaur World base. None of our matches have gone anywhere near the distance. Our max number of rounds is 2,000, is that right?
We do go up to 2,000, and it doesn't look like we've made it there yet. All of our matches so far, all of our games so far have ended with one team destroying the other team's Archons. So I wonder if this will continue to be the case, or if we'll have any games going through to all the way through to round 2,000, and which is where we will be having the singularity. Remember that instead of us ending the game for you, the singularity will consume the weaker team. And then, of course, I guess that just means that by round 2000, we'll have some tiebreakers. But yes, it looks like some interesting attacks happening in the middle. Looks like Watch Central World might have a slight.
I see a laboratory in the bottom left.
There is a laboratory in the bottom left. And it looks like Watch Central World is starting to farm some gold. They do have a bit of an excess of lead, so it makes sense for them to be making gold. And there we go. We have their first sage. Second sage. Lots of sages coming out from Watch Central World, moving up towards the top right there. That sage seems to be casting some anomalies, envisioning some anomalies, and they take out that Archon, the 5 musketeers. So Watch Central World takes the first game in a set of 5. And the second one is Jellyfish again. So these are maps that we've seen before. We have Jellyfish and not Test Small so far. Let's see what happens on this one. Looks like Watch Central World goes quickly on the attack, moving upwards. They found that Archon in the top right. And it looks like it's under a bit of trouble there. So they do take out that first Archon. And that is the second Archon. So Watch Central World does take the second game as well. I wonder what we'll have as our third map in this set of 5 in round 6. Our third map is Underground. So it looks like Underground has some resources scattered at the bottom of the map, but they're blocked by some layers of high rubble. But I suppose if you can manage to find your way down there, it can be a nice place to stay as a bit of a fortress, because you do get yourself the rubble buffer that protects you from teams that come down and try to attack you down there. So let's see how they do on the Underground map. This looks like 5 Musketeers does have the miners going down to the bottom, so they have found the lead deposits down the bottom there. Watch Central World does come in with their attack on from the right there. Some interesting battles happening in the middle of the map. Seems quite evenly matched. 5 Musketeers with a couple more miners and also a couple more soldiers now. Perhaps they do have that material advantage. Pushing towards the right. It looks like 5 Musketeers now has a commanding advantage. And they have now found that Archon. Let's see if that Archon can survive this attack. Maybe hard from here. But 5 Musketeers does take out this third game. And so we are onto a fourth one. It's not over yet. Let's see what happens on our fourth map. This fourth map is uncomfortable. I wonder why it's uncomfortable. Oh, I guess it is quite uncomfortable with the Archons sort of sitting near each other in the center there. But then there's also some other Archons on the side. But I guess on the other hand, it is a very big map. So the teams will have a lot of time to sort of explore the map and decide what they want to do. So a bit uncomfortable in the middle, but then also lots of space to explore and expand. Let's get started. Let's see what happens in the center, which may be where all the action will be. It's quite varying. It looks like 5 Musketeers hasn't really done anything with that Archon in the center, so it may look like it's the first one to go. And that Archon in the center. There's only the blue one left. We'll see if 5 Musketeers can take out the other ones. Now, it looks like the left one is in a bit of trouble as well now. So it's now 4 Archons to 2 to watch Center World. Just like the third one. So it looks like Watch Center World has now expanded to take over most of the map. They've expanded from their respective starting positions in this arena. This may just be a matter of time now before they find that last remaining Archon in the top right there. And so congratulations to Watch Center World for winning on this very uncomfortable map and taking out this round 6 match 3-1. So Watch Center World will be advancing to round 7. And congratulations to 5 Musketeers for a great performance in round 6. Let's take a look at our second match in round 6. It's going to be Kryptonite versus the Forcefully Boosted Kids. Back onto not test small. Some soldiers coming out from Kryptonite. Also lots of soldiers coming from Team Blue as well. So seems a bit somewhat evenly matched right now. Couple more miners from Kryptonite though. The Forcefully Boosted Kids is coming straight down, injecting their way towards that Archon. So we'll see how this match turns out. They have found that Archon now. They've latched onto it. This looks like this one may be going to Forcefully Boosted Kids. Seems to be no escape from here. So congratulations to Forcefully Boosted Kids for taking this first game. On to the Jellyfish.
Looks like Kryptonite's Archon in the bottom right is taking a little bit of fire, but still doing quite well. You wonder why neither teams or any team so far have decided to make builders to repair their Archons. Guess it's just not part of the card meta. Oh, and Kryptonite's lead income is rising very rapidly and taking control of a lot of the map. Takes red team's top left Archon, and looks like this game will go to Kryptonite. Now we're on to underground. Let's see which team makes it underground first. Looks like some of blue team's miners are slowly venturing downwards. Kryptonite's also sending some miners down. The playing field looks pretty even at the moment, but Kryptonite has severe deficiency in lead income at the moment, but things are now changing. Looks like blue team is now taking Kryptonite's Archons in the top, in the right. And looks like it'll be very hard for Kryptonite to get out of this. Okay, so Forcefully Boosted Kids takes the third match and has a 2-1 lead. Now we're on to Uncomfortable. Again, interesting to see what happens at the center. The rider team rushes the opposing Archon and gains the advantage right off the bat. Indeed, it looks like Kryptonite has a couple soldiers, immediately taking down the Red Archon. Harvested gold, but decides not to do anything with it. And now Kryptonite seems to have a lot more units running around, 23 soldiers to forcefully boosted kids 5. And looks like their red team has very little on the map apart from their Archons. It's just a matter of time. The Archon in the left center is going down now. Again, I guess Kryptonite hasn't really ventured to the top right corner yet, but when they do, looks like the soldiers are heading there now. It's one more Archon gone. And interestingly, this seems to be one of our longer games, if not our longest yet, but it's primarily due to pathfinding. Looks like Kryptonite has clear control over the economy now. And yeah, looks like forcefully boosted kids' final Archon is about to fall. So this evens up the tie at 2-all. So we'll be going to a tiebreaker.
Is this a new map? Have we seen the 5th map yet in this set? I don't think we have.
Not sure. Yeah.
No, let's find out what map comes after this very uncomfortable one. Fortress. I suppose Fortress gives you some space to set up a fortress in the center, especially with all that rubble around it. So I suppose if you make your way into the middle, you'll set up something nice over there.
Yeah, those lead ingots look huge in the center as well. So very lucrative. Archons are pretty spaced apart in this map, and looks like both teams are setting up their economies. And now, forcefully boosted kids has entered the fortress and is mining all of the goodness to be had inside. The economy is pretty even though still. Both teams have around 20 soldiers in the map. But now it looks like forcefully boosted kids is gaining a bit of an advantage in that income. Archons of both teams still remain intact, but blue seems to be slowly creeping over to the left. The left center Archon of Kryptonite is under a lot of duress at the moment. Now it falls. And looks like blue team's gonna sweep the rest of the map. So, wow, congratulations to forcefully boosted kids for winning this round 6 matchup and advancing to the semifinals. And congratulations to Kryptonite for making it so far. Now we have Rolo versus Yoho, 2 team names with a lot of O's. Okay, we start our tie on not that small. Yoho sending an early soldier to test the waters. It looks like Rolo withstood the soldier fairly well, and we now have a fairly evenly matched game. Yoho seems to be gaining an advantage in that income. His miners in the 2 opposite corners of the map seem to be doing quite a good job. A lot of combat occurring in the center of the map. So perhaps your micro strategy matters a lot in who comes out of that. It looks like Yoho is slowly advancing towards Rolo's base, and that Archon is now under severe duress. And Yoho wins this match by destroying Rolo's Soul Archon. On to Jellyfish. Again, both teams have a lot of time to gather up lead and set up their strategies. Once again, Yoho had that one soldier getting pretty close to Rolo's Archon, but not really doing much. Now it looks like Yoho has a bit of an advantage in terms of soldiers and in lead income. And is again creeping down to the bottom of the map where Rolo's Archons reside. And now they look to have a significant advantage in number of soldiers, but so Rolo holding their own for quite a bit here. Perhaps just delaying the inevitable, or will they be able to fight back? Looks like red units are getting extremely close to Rolo's bottom left Archon. Now that Archon falls, and looks like the bottom right Archon is soon to follow. So Yoho takes the second match as well, giving them they're just one match away from advancing to the semifinals. And now we are in underground. Again, it'll be interesting to see which team ventures downwards. You would think that miners would want to go downwards, but it looks like both teams are staying above ground for now. Yoho seems to be advancing to the right quite effectively. And again, to have a lot more soldiers in the map. So interestingly, they always seem to manage to take the advantage in economy. These matches against Rolo. A couple of Yoho's miners have headed downstairs, just minding their own business. And looks like Rolo's Archons are under a lot of threat now. Yoho takes this match 3-0. So congratulations to Yoho on advancing to the semifinals, and congratulations to Rolo for making it all the way to the quarterfinals. Next up, we have C Sharper versus Blue Dragon. Starting on not test small. Both teams opt for a pure miner strategy to begin. Looks like C Sharper is now creating a few soldiers, so is Blue Dragon. And both teams seem to be fairly even on resources at the moment. C Sharper now has a lot more soldiers on the board. Looks like that's helping them advance to the top right. Getting closer to Blue Dragon's Archon. Now, Blue Dragon's Archon looks to be in a lot of problems, have a lot of problems at the moment. And looks like this match will go to C Sharper. On to Jellyfish. Fairly low rebel map. The Dragon seems to have a bit of a better mining strategy, already has an advantage in economy. Now, C Sharper's Archon on the left is under threat, just from a couple soldiers. It'll be interesting to see if the Dragon can send more to join them. Looks like they will. Yeah, with the shared array communication, it's very easy to communicate enemy locations this year. So it's a lot easier to get some more soldiers to join you. And looks like Blue Dragon will win this match. So win this game and tie things up at 1-1. On to Underground. Both teams again start off with a lot of miners. That income is fairly even at the moment. And now both teams starting to make soldiers. Both around round 100, both teams decide to make some soldiers. And things are fairly even at the moment. Lots of combat happening in the center. Again, a couple of miners just minding their own business at the bottom. Now it looks like Blue Dragon is advancing to the right. Sea Sharper's bottom Archon is being harassed by a lot of soldiers at the moment. Now they move on to Sea Sharper's sole remaining Archon. All right, Blue Dragon takes the lead in this tie, but there's still up to 2 more games to go. On to Uncomfortable. Again, it'll be interesting to see what sort of strategy occurs at the center. If either team gets an Archon right off the bat. And indeed, a lot of combat from the very beginning. Both teams opting to make soldiers very quickly. It looks like, yeah, that combat is still going fairly evenly, but Blue Dragon's Archon is under a little bit of stress at the moment. It looks like Sea Sharper came out better in that encounter in the center, has taken Blue Dragon's Archon. And also seems to have a significant resource lead and unit advantage at the moment. And this is a very large map, so it'll be interesting to see how long or if Sea Sharper can clean up Blue Dragon's Archons. Taken Blue Dragon's Archon in the top right. Just one more Archon hiding out in the bottom right. Looks like they are not. Yeah, or it looks like blue Sea Sharper soldiers are now moving towards the Archon in the bottom right. The are concentrating on it. And looks like Sea Sharper will take this match. So that ties up this match at 2-all. So we'll have a decider to see which team can advance to the semifinals. And we are on Fortress. Okay. Both teams doing a good job of gathering the lead on each of their sides. So both teams have managed to make it inside of the fortress, but Blue Dragon soldiers destroy Sea Sharper's miners before they have much of a chance to gain the resources. And now it looks like Blue Dragon has a significant advantage in lead income. Advancing to Sea Sharper's Archons now. It looks like Blue Dragon has a significant advantage in this 5th match of the tie. Now cleaning up, sweeping through Sea Sharper's territory, taking Sea Sharper's top left Archon. It looks like Blue Dragon will take this 5th match. Appropriately as the blue team. So congratulations to Blue Dragon for advancing to the semifinals, and huge congratulations to Sea Sharper as well for making it into the top 8.
So now we will be starting our not our quarterfinals. We're starting our semifinal matches. So next up, we have Watch Center World versus Forcefully Boosted Kids. We are in our round of 4, our semifinals with our top 4 teams. So in the next 2 matches coming up, whoever wins the match will be advancing to the final round of the sprint tournament. So let's see how we go in this first of 2 final matches. Starting out with Uncomfortable.
Looks like both teams are not really engaging in the center to begin with, but opting for a pure miner strategy. But now we see some soldiers come up. And looks like Watch Centaur World is slowly draining Forcefully Boosted Kid's Centaur Archon. But they were not able to finish it up. Now they are. Okay, so Watch Centaur World gains that crucial 1 Archon advantage. And now it looks like they may gain a 2 Archon advantage, taking the Archon on the right. Now the conclusion looks inevitable. The top left Archon also falls soon after the bottom left. And that is it for the first game. On to Fortress. Okay, again, both teams making good use of their miners. Just crucial to not fall behind in the lead economy early in the game. Looks like Forcefully Boosted Kids made it first into the fortress, but with only a single miner. And looks like Watch Centaur World now has a swarm of troops advance into the fortress. Seems like they often venture 1 square in but decide not to. But now there are a few miners mining that extremely important lead in the center. And Watch Centaur World just needs to be doing better in the economy. They have a lot more soldiers on the board now. And no doubt that'll soon translate into some destroyed Archons of our team. There goes 1 Archon. And now, yes, Watch Centaur World, you can just see how much map control it has, and the swarms of soldiers. And they'll take a 2-0 lead in this matchup. So this is for entry into the finals. We're just 1 game away. And we have a new map, Colosseum. It's very large, it's appropriate. It's a very grand map. And there's a lot of lead located in the corners, but to get to there, units will have to venture through a lot of high rubble tiles. And the construction in the center is interesting as well. Those 2 Archons are pretty close to each other, but it's non-trivial to get from one to the other with the high rubble in the middle. Looks like Forcefully Boosted Kids has an advantage in economy and also in soldiers. They're slowly advancing to that top center Archon of Watch Centaur World. And they will take that Archon. Looks like this will not be a 3-0 win for Watch Centaur World by the current state of this match. Top right Archon is next to fall, and this match now leads to its inevitable conclusion, which is that Forcefully Boosted Kids is still in this matchup. They've won the 3rd game. So let's see what will happen in the 4th game, and also what map will the 4th game be played on. This is interesting map. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's a very small map with quite sparsely placed lead. So again, rushing may be very important here, and probably soldier miner strategy will be as effective as ever here.
I know which dev made this map, but also I don't know what they were thinking at the time. It appears that they tried to make a square and then got halfway through and just called it square instead. But I guess we'll see what happens.
So those diagonal high rubble tiles are not very effective, given that you can move in 8 directions. Battlecode. Looks like Watch Centaur World has a significant advantage. So they're now, both of red team's Archons are under threat. And that will do it very quickly for the deciding match, or what ended up being the deciding match of this tie. So Watch Centaur World will advance to the finals in one of the top 2 teams. And congratulations to Forcefully Boosted Kids on making it to the top 4 of the sprint tournament. Now we have Yoho versus Bluray.
So the winner of this match will be going up against Watch Centaur World in the final round of this sprint tournament. So let's see how we go in Yoho versus Blue Dragon.
Looks like Blue Dragon immediately starts attacking Yoho's Archon. But will it be enough to take it down? Looks like their lasers, well, that's how attacks are visualized, are still trained on Yoho's Archon. But Yoho seems to be surviving quite well. I spoke this in. So Blue Dragon has the crucial 1 Archon lead. Still, Yoho is still holding its own in the economy currently, with a slight deficiency. Now Blue Dragon takes Yoho's left Archon. And now there are just 2 more Archons of Yoho, which are soon to fall, presumably. Blue Dragon takes down the bottom right Archon. Doesn't even bother to pick up the gold. And now soldiers are slowly but surely heading to the top right of the map. Where they will take down Yoho's final Archon, and Blue Dragon takes a 1-game lead in the semifinal. All right, now we're on to Fortress. Yeah, and interesting to see the dynamics inside of the fortress. Looks like there are a couple soldiers of Yoho which made it inside. Wonder whether they'll signal to their miners that this is a good place to be. The Blue Dragon seems to have an advantage in their number of soldiers and in their economy. Now Blue Dragon is eating up the lead in the center of that fortress. Now we have a wave of red soldiers sweeping to the right. And there's little in Yoho's power to stop them as they take down both of the Archons, roughly the same time. Looks like Yoho's Archons are holding out, but not for long. Situation looks quite dire. And Blue Dragon takes this match. So they're just 1 game away from the finals. All right, let's see if Yoho can put up a final stand on this Colosseum map. Looks like Blue Dragon soldiers are slowly venturing upwards. Quite a few of them are stuck in that extremely high rebel region as well, interestingly. On the other hand, Yoho's miners are eating away at that top right region of lead and then decide to walk away. Maybe it's, yeah. Blue Dragon has a significant advantage in soldiers, gives them a lot more firepower, and looks like they're doing a lot better job in combat, and are taking down Yoho's centered Archon. Yoho's top right Archon was under a bit of threat, but looks to have survived, so Yoho still has a fighting chance here. But as we have seen in previous maps, it looks like the team that takes the early economy lead generally ends up winning the match. It looks like the same is the case here, as Blue Dragon takes down Yoho's top right Archon, soon their top left Archon, and that is the match. So congratulations to Yoho for making it into the top 4. And our finalists are now decided. Blue Dragon will be facing Watch Centaur World, the finals.
And so we're on to the finals. So this is the final round, round 8, the final round of the Battlecode 2022 Sprint Tournament 1. And so the winner of this match will be receiving a cash prize for coming first in the Sprint tournament. And so we'll see how our teams go in the final round of the Sprint tournament. So let's see how we go. Watch Centaur World versus Blue Dragon.
Okay, so we're starting in square, fairly small map. So again, you have to pay attention very quickly because things can happen very quickly on these small maps.
I still wonder if it should be called square or square. I guess this is something we'll have to clarify with the dev team. Something we'll have to find out. But here we go. Starting out on square. And here we go with Blue Dragon starting out with the soldiers. And watch Centaur World coming, also building some soldiers quickly to respond as well. Seems a bit hard to decide right now what's going on. Seems quite hard to see. Watch Centaur World does have one soldier down the bottom, 2 soldiers down the bottom on that Archon. Perhaps they came out slightly on top of that little battle there. And it looks like Watch Centaur does have that control over both of those Archons. And Watch Centaur takes out the first match, the first game in this final round match. So Watch Centaur World is up 1-0 over Blue Dragon in this final round. Right. Let's take a look at the second map. The second map here is called Daniel, and I can see that the map does indeed say Daniel. It's an interesting choice of map here. It is a very large map, though. There's a lot of space for the teams here to expand and do whatever they would like with all this map space. A lot of space to do whatever they'd like to do. So I guess let's see how these teams go on the Daniel map. I wonder why this map is called Daniel out of all the names it could have been called. We are seeing both teams sort of filling up the map, sort of exploring a lot of the map space. Blue Dragon does have that stray miner. Is that a miner? That's a miner, just sort of floating around the blue Archon quite happily. Mining around that blue Archon, and the blue Archon doesn't really seem to care that much. That's fine.
Looks like Blue Dragon's Archon is under threat in the bottom middle. But Blue Dragon seems to have fought back. The Archon remains standing. Now Blue Dragon goes in the offense, like attacking Watch Centaur Worlds and taking down one of Watch Centaur World's Archons. Looks like Watch Centaur World's Archon in the top center is also going down.
So
and Blue Dragon now, yeah.
Oh, now 3 Archons to 1. It looks like Blue Dragon on the red team. Blue Dragon does have a lot of map control now. Blue Dragon takes out this second game. So we're now 1 game apiece in this best of 5. 1 game apiece. Let's now take a look at the third map in this set. The third map is Valley. It's an interesting map. It seems that we have something that looks like a valley in the middle there. and sort of two cliffs where they sort of on the edge of that valley. So let's see how we go in the valley. There's no lead in the middle of that valley, so it's a very dead valley. There's nothing in there. And all the lead is next to the Archons for them to take.
And this map has rotational symmetry, and there seem to be quite a few vortices specials. It's one of those maps where pathfinding is especially difficult because you don't know which way the vortices are going to turn the map, I think. Yeah, that's right.
And watch Central Road sending up those miners straight up towards Blue Dragon. Not that there's anything there to be found, but no harm in sending up a couple of miners. Seems to have found, whoop, there's a first vortex. It did seem to change for how the map looks. The map looks really different now. Yeah, but next to not only coming straight up.
Well, Central World's taking the lead in the economy, but Blue Dragon's Archons remain standing. And now Watch Center World has a huge lead in soldiers. Blue Dragon just has a couple left. And is down to basically nothing but its Archons, as the map has yet another anomaly. And Watch Center World takes this map. One game away from winning the spring tournament.
So Watch Central World just needs one more game in the set of 5 to win the sprint tournament. Blue Dragon has 2 to go. We're now on to the 4th game in the sprint. In the 4th game, we'll see if Watch Central World will finish the round or if Blue Dragon will push this on to yet another decider. So let's see what happens. So this 4th map, we're back on rivers again. So this is the rivers map that we were looking at right at the start. So let's see how we go on rivers.
And both teams having a very solid lead income. Okay. Blue Dragon seems to have found just a few more of those lead reserves. And despite operating as a red team, seems to be doing very well.
So they have found that Archon in the top right. It looks like we may be going to a decider. But Blue Dragon has found both blue Archons and has taken them out. So we are now at 2 games apiece in this final round. So we are moving on to game 5 of this best of 5 match in the final round of the sprint tournament this year. So on to the last map, which is Sandwich again. So let's see what happens on Sandwich with Watch Central World and Blue Dragon. It's a scary map to be on because we have again the Archon Sandwich makes it really hard for the 2 Archons on your team to communicate with each other and reach each other. So let's see what happens on the Sandwich map. All right, let's get this going.
Can reduce the speed with a down arrow.
I can try to reduce the speed.
And the
Reduction button, that is not the
that
speed.
one, yeah.
That is the speed reduction button.
Yeah.
Let's reduce that speed. Let's see what happens on Sandwich. It's a bit too slow, don't you think? Bring this up a little bit.
Both teams have very even lead incomes at the moment. There's a bit of combat occurring in the bottom left as Blue Dragon soldiers doing a bit of damage, but Watch Center World still holding strong. Bottom right, there's a single soldier taking care of Blue Dragon's miners. And now Watch Center World's let income seems to be creeping up. Or is it? Now, about the same. Both teams holding on to their Archons. Lots of combat occurring in the bottom left. And Blue Dragon seems to be slowly advancing towards Watch Center World's Archon. So will they be able to bring enough firepower to take the Archon down? Perhaps not. So a lot of this is in the micro strategies that each team has, and looks like Watch Center World managed to come out of that encounter on top, as its soldiers are now taking down Blue Dragon's left Archon. Wow, just one Archon left for Blue Dragon.
See if Blue Dragon can hold that defense in a fortress on the top right there. See if they can hold off an attack from Watch Central World. It looks like those soldiers are coming up. They are on their way over there. And lots of soldiers coming out from the Blue Dragon side as well, pushing their way back.
Blue Dragon be able to make one final stand against this swarm of units. There's even a Sage on its way. The Dragon's Archon does not look to be in good shape.
And so congratulations to Watch Central World for winning this deciding match in the final round of the Battlecode 22 Sprint Tournament 1. So congratulations to Watch Central World for being our sprint winners for this year. And congratulations also to Blue Dragon for putting up an amazing defense, taking this out all the way to the deciding match in the final round. But that is our official match and our official stream for this first sprint tournament this year. So thank you to everyone for joining us, and we are looking forward to hanging out with everyone, continuing to hang out with everyone over Discord. You may expect some slight balancing changes to be released very soon. But in the meantime, congratulations once again to Watch Central World for placing first in this sprint tournament. And we are very excited to see your bots change and evolve over the coming weeks, and also to see you again in the second sprint tournament at this time next week. But with that, thanks to everyone once again for coming along. The maps will be released shortly into the engine, and we will also enable those maps on our scrimmages. The replay files will be available on Challenge, which is where our brackets are. So you'll be able to find all the replay files there shortly. And we are looking forward to seeing you online. So once again, congratulations to Watch Central World, and good luck for the remainder of the competition.